Hi, I'm Corey. Welcome to Creating with Scraps. This is the flip through of the completed file folder journal that we made together. It's one of a series, and I just showed the technique of how to make the file folder type cover. And I had some folks ask to see the completed project. So here you go. Here it is. The front tuck just has a letter to the bookmaker, a letter from the bookmaker card in it, and that's in the file folder tuck at the top. It's a little snug right now because it's really full, but that's the way it goes. And on the back, I used a belly band. I made a full-size belly band, and then my label, my name. But one of the pieces that we made, the double, what did I call this? I honestly don't remember. It was inspired by something I saw Gail Gustinell on her channel, and it is like a double pocket tuck, I believe, and that's what's on the back. And I just did it on a belly band because it's pretty thick, and my insides got chubby quick. I ended up using just a simple eyelet closure because the width of my album was a little bit more than the pages themselves, and so it worked well with this type of a closure. And you can see there I've got plenty of room, and I can put more on there if I wanted to, if I want to do some dangles or something, which I may do at a later date. So this is just some sari silk in eyelets, and then I sewed these on each edge. All right, the inner pocket, these are some vintage postcards, and it's kind of really a loose playing card theme. There's other colors in there, but the black and the red lent themselves nicely to what I was doing. That's a glassine bag. Most of these, if there's anything that's out of the ordinary, I made it on the channel. Anything that's unique or different or that type of thing. This is just a wraparound belly band with a fold over journaling card. So it's a wraparound double belly band. And I did this, the how-to on this one, in a previous video. I don't even remember what it was called, but it's just a wraparound double belly band. And here's the other piece on the other side, same exact idea. And this is from a freebie from Tracy Fox Creative. She has a stationery set that is absolutely fabulous. So these are all lift up places to write, and then I've got a double. I did it a double, so there's lots of places to write on there. And then I just held those little flaps closed with another digital, cut up digital. This is just a file folder, simple file folder. This is a tuxedo pocket. It's a version of the tuxedo pocket. And put some, these are all just journaling cards basically. And then tucked those inside the pockets. A lot of these are the Tim Holtz ephemera pieces that I've backed with cardstock. And this is another one of the Tracy Fox digitals from her stationery kit with a journal card. And this is one of the one sheet wonders that we made. And the inside's just super basic. I just tucked a die cut in there, and I glued on the I glued on the lace bits to add some interest to it. And I made this as thin as possible, the inside. And these are one of the two one-sheet wonders that we did. Oh, and I forgot to put stuff in the back pocket. Well, I can do that. There is a tuck spot here, a tuck spot here, and a belly band here. So I will add pieces to those. I just forgot to include them in there. And this closes up. And it'll be, again, the same type of pieces, something, fairly thin. And then I just tucked that die cut in the drawer there. And then this is the back of that closure. And I just put, this is a piece of book page, and I just folded it over and put a little notepad in it. I just like the way the colors worked with it. So kind of a super simple way to use it. Here is, I was going to put a notepad there. I guess I forgot. I'll put a little notepad there, just a side cluster. And then on the other side, a side tuck, and a vintage ledger, and a bookmark, and then a side tuck. I guess I have a lot of pockets that I forgot to put bits and pieces in. I can you know, use these. This one's a little big, obviously, but something like this, just as a little tuck, and then that's just a bookmark. And a journaling pocket. And here is one, the torn envelope bit with a journaling card in the back. Just took a regular envelope and tore the back off of the top to make a pocket. And more ledger, vintage ledger. And then this is another image that we made with leftover digital paper. We did this on the channel. There's a pocket there. There's a Rita Donnelly flip here, and then a notepad in the back. And then it closes just like that. And that is on the leftover digital video if you haven't seen that. A library card pocket with just some coffee dyed tracing paper to write. Just made it thin and fun, just because this journal was getting so thick. And these are the long, not pastry bags, silverware bags that I got. And then I just put a simple bookmark on the back. And then the same thing here, same idea. This is just one of Tracy's Digital's, the Bug Ephemera kit. This one is a coffee filter, the circle coffee filter bit, and with the pockets on that. So there's a pocket, but this is actually pretty darn thin, which is good because the pieces are a bit thick. And then this is just a little journaling, one of those little journaling accordion folds. So there's lots of places to tuck in here. And then a specimen slide and just a little tag to go in there. And a tuck spot. This is, a vintage check from, let's see, 1922 from the Bank of Bates City in Kansas City, Missouri. So I really enjoy using authentic vintage ephemera when I can. And this is another one of Tracy's Digital's. It's just flat, and then I stamped the numbers on the drawers and just put a little slot in the drawers to put flowers in there. And it's just a journaling space. And this is an envelope, a glassine envelope with just a simple journaling card with scraps. It's all made with scraps from pieces that I'd made for this kit. And then a tuck. And this is a vintage 17-something German paper. I really loved it, so I didn't want to cover it up too much. And this is a top tuck, a lace-covered top tuck. And this is a piece of printed vellum, just over a piece of card. And this is the other of the 2 one-sheet wonders that we did. Ledger. This is what I call a Tracy drop-down. So it's a tag with a drop-down piece on the bottom. So this acts as a tuck to put paper behind or a journaling spot. But then it has a little bitty pocket on the bottom. And here is a side tuck. This is just several Tracy labels or different labels layered together to make a tuck. And then there's just a journaling card in there. And this is a very simple, you can see in the back, just a paper clip. It's not even a hidden paper clip. I didn't need to make it hidden. And this is some lined student writing paper. And then I just put those, let's see. I put those together. I glued, because they're so thin, I glued them together to make like a side tuck there to hold that paper clip. And then some place to write and some more vintage leather, I think, ledger or vintage note. And I think this is from the early 1800s with a tab. And then the other bit of that. So what I did here is I've got one of the pieced together envelopes that I learned from Jibidneri. Basically, you just take all kinds of scraps and sew them together, and then you cut it out into a square shape to make an envelope. So you've got tracing paper here, digital music paper, some cardstock, just a variety of pieces. And then cut it down to tuck over. And because I did this the same as the other, I'll just tuck the flap into the pocket and then paper clip that down so I can put notes or what have you there. And then this is a side tuck, and it wrapped around. Oh, looks like that stuck. Oh, I know what this was. I know what this is. This is just a place for a notepad that I forgot to put in. So I'm going to put a notepad there, and I wrapped it around. I had this piece in here, and I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with it. And I had a leftover scrap, so I wrapped the scrap around the edge of it to make place to journal over here, but with a bit of a decorative edge, and then to lift this up to put a notepad. So there's a couple things I need to finish. I'll put another one of those little notepads underneath that. And then some more ledger, and then these are the glassine pockets that we made with using Tracy's Bug Digitals as a page insert. And then this is one of the Gale fold downs. It's just folded up ledger with the top, not ledger, folded up coffee dyed paper with the top folded over to make a point, basically. And then I put this side on one end of the paper and then this side the other. And I just tucked the edge of it into a little tuck there so that it would sit nicely. And glassine, or you know what, this might be Tim Holtz vellum. And then another tuck. You can see I've forgotten to put a lot of the tuck pieces in just for a piece of paper or a writing spot. And this is a paper clip with, let's see, taxes from 1947, a tax postcard. And this is the music sheet, vintage music. Actually, this is probably antique music because it's really old. And this is another one of the pieces that Tracy had in her stationery kit. So I sliced the edge, I stamped on it, sliced the edge, and just made a little journaling card spot with it. And then fussy cut a flower to put on top just for some interest. And then the back, same thing, but this is transparency. And I put some mini daffodils in there. So that was kind of fun. And then because I wanted the card to be seen, I used a piece of transparency to make a sheer belly band. And then this is just a tuck, and there's a pocket up here with some vintage ledger in it. Yeah, well, maybe I pushed it down so far it's hard to get out. But there really is. There's really and truly, here we go, vintage ledger in there. And then this was the other side of that music note. And I just glued down one of these altered playing cards. I had cut it, I punched out an image, or punched out a hole, put some tracing paper and some dried flour underneath, and then sandwiched two of them together. So that's just a window. And then there's just another journaling card inside the pocket. And then this is something I did a while ago. This is napkin covered that I had this extra napkin, and I used a bit of the napkin for the top. And I cut the top of it off, and then I made the bottom. I took that top piece and doubled it on the bottom to make a little tuck right there. So it's a pocket with a tuck. It's an envelope pocket with a tuck. And those are a lot of fun to make. Really super easy. And this book is full, so okay. Well, I'll put that in later. And this is just a fold-over vellum pocket with the, again, Tracy Fox, the entomology set. There's just a writing space with some of the bugs on there, because there's some bugs in there. The colors worked, and I didn't want it to be too much playing cards, but then there's the playing card little vintage ephemera pieces here. I like the way they played together. And then this is a Tracy two-side. It's something that she made several years ago. It's just scraps of paper, and it folds over one and then wraps around, and then there's a pocket on this side with just, a simple journaling card. And then the very back with the lace there, this is thick. It's on a chipboard. I took a piece of the Tim Holtz, I don't remember what they're called, Tim Holtz paper, but not the 12 by 12 paper, the newer ones, the 8 by 12, I think is what they are. Cut it down to fit and made it writing, so that when I write in my journal, I can have a hard piece behind it. So a journaling card, not a journal card, a writing board for the journal. And that tucks in here. Normally, when I use these lace pieces, I'll put a piece of transparency so things slide in and out easily, but this isn't too terribly hard. And that's it. That's this journal. That is the file folder journal. So for those of you who joined in and made one as well, I hope you really enjoyed the process. This is how I chose to finish mine. And let's see, next up, I believe I've had a couple people ask for my completed ephemera. I kind of briefly showed how I've been storing my completed ephemera pieces once they're done. And somebody had asked that I go into detail of that. A couple people have asked for that. So I'll do that in my next video. And then after that, I have so many things on my list. I'm honestly not 100% sure. Maybe we'll work on the Tim Holtz Gentleman Journal. That's getting close to completion. Maybe I'll finish up. Gosh, I've got this one here. Maybe I'll do this and show you how I ended up using this. And I've looked, but I haven't gotten any more of this Amazon packaging. And I've ordered plenty of Amazon things, but I've not gotten any more of this packaging. So I guess it's not something that comes out very often. So I'm really glad I utilized it when I did, because I'm really pleased with that. So, and it'll be a similar type insert. So maybe I'll share that next. If you've got anything that you'd specifically like to see, please don't hesitate to let me know. I am slowly but surely working on the garden journal from Rachel Bella Crafts and Angela Kerr. But that's not really something I need to show, because I'm just copying what all the other creators for that collaboration did and including those in my journal. So it's, it's not something that I've necessarily created. I'm just being inspired by the fabulous creators there. And thank you again for all of you who sent me well wishes, and 3 months yesterday that we lost Tim. So it's been rough, but you have been so kind and so supportive. So I appreciate that. I don't ever want to understate enough that, or understate how meaningful that has been to both Brian and I. So thank you for that. Take care all. I hope you're enjoying a beautiful spring, and happy creating.